Hey everybody, Phil Roberts here, international coach and facilitator, and welcome to this YouTube channel. And today I'm going to talk about wisdom. I like that we call our wisdom teeth because they're the last to grow. So let's take a look at what we mean by wisdom and see if we can understand exactly what it is that we can work with. It's been written about for millennia. The original philosophers had a very clear idea about wisdom. All of the religions have writings on wisdom, and there are old and new psychological perspectives on wisdom. And it could remain an abstract concept, but as you know, I'm really interested in the practicality and what we can do to develop and cultivate our own innate wisdom. And there are 5 characteristics of wisdom that I'm going to explore in this clip. And the first of these is that there's an ability to see things as they really are and to gather and integrate multiple perspectives. Buddhism calls it a penetrating way of seeing what's going on. So there's a really a broad perspective that's taken, and the broadest context is taken into account. And a modern day perspective on this would be that this way of seeing isn't simply cognitive. I think people would be using all of their senses and also their intuition and maybe their gut and their heart sense. As we know from emerging neuroscience, the heart and the gut have neurons as well as the brain, and they fire in ways that we don't properly understand, but they're an important part of the way that we perceive and the way that we make sense of what's going on. If you like, there's a whole body way of seeing. And the second characteristic talks to what we do once we've done our seeing. And this is about decision making, and it's about right use of judgment, and about an ability to make decisions that are for the benefit of the collective as much as they are for the individual. So we have people that are able to take into account of multiple perspectives quickly and to use that information with good judgment and to make good decisions. And this takes us into the third characteristic, that they operate from a clear sense of values. These include good conduct and courage to act. And I would add to this that they operate from their own personal sense of values, which they put together with the values of the society in which they're operating. And this is where it starts to get interesting, because the fourth characteristic talks about acknowledging the uncertainty that we have. 2,000 years ago, Socrates was talking about true wisdom is knowing what you don't know, and sometimes knowing nothing. And so out of this kind of attitude, out of an ability to say I don't know, which some of us find quite difficult, we have humility. Humility is part of the decision-making process, an acknowledgement that there may be a truth out there that we don't understand. And I find this really interesting. Humility as a characteristic by itself can look weak. If we put humility together with conviction, our passion for what we're doing, it starts to become quite compelling. Conviction without humility can look arrogant. So it's this blend of the two. And the final characteristic is the subject of the last YouTube clip. Wisdom comes in part from reflection on life's experience. Life's experience gives us insight and learning. And it's part of the array of factors that we take account of when we're making decisions. So one of the perspectives that we'll be using when we're seeing multiple perspectives will be our own life experience. And so we have these 5 common characteristics. And as we can see, it's different from knowledge, and it's different from IQ. Knowledge would be learned in a book. IQ would be inherent, and yet wisdom is available to all of us. And what seems clear to me as we go through this is that each of these characteristics we can develop. It's not something we either have or we don't have. If we pay attention, we can cultivate our own sense of wisdom. And it occurs to me also that in setting up this YouTube channel, which is developing leadership through whole person coaching, whether that's a formal sense of leadership or an informal role that we might have, leading to building a better society for all of us, it occurs to me at the moment there might be a wisdom deficit, and that we want a stronger sense of wisdom in all of the decision making that takes place, both in organisations, companies, politically, in governments, as we wrestle with the most complex set of factors that we've probably ever experienced as a species. So let's hear it for more wisdom, and I'd love to hear what you think about the YouTube clip, so leave some comments below, and thank you for watching.